Good morning, beautiful world. I am really tired. I have been working so hard lately, and I want to just dump everything I've been doing and how much I've been working. However, I'm gonna do it the most satisfying way possible. Power wash simulation. In the beginning of this video, you'll probably hear me talk about the short film and talk about how I kind of want to talk about it. That's not true. I go into a whole different rant about life and YouTube, and it's still super interesting to me. I'm so glad to talk about it, but just I'm making a different video about the short film, going more into it. That's not this. You hear me mention it? That's not that. Be warned. All right. I have been wanting to play Power Wash because it's really satisfying and gives me time to talk about what I have been doing lately. Because like I said, I've been working on a project. If you did not see the video I uploaded, I'm making a short film, right? And I'm just so unbelievably excited to talk about it with you guys. And I am going to be recording the process and actually going through with you about everything about like just generally where I'm at the project, where my headspace is, where I'm going to be time-wise, of where it's going to be done. But overall, I am just extremely excited to just show everyone what I've been doing. I know I gave a very, very loose description of what the short is. I don't want to give all the details about the short film because I want to keep some of it a mystery, you know? I don't want to tell you exactly everything that happens. Like I said, I've been really tired because I have been working extremely hard. Because this is something completely new for me. I haven't ever done something like this, like an actual production, where I have a set. Like I have... Okay, to be fair, calling it a set is kind of a disgrace because to anyone that's ever done anything with the film industry, because it's not. It's not a set. It's a shack with a few tables, snacks, drinks, and a bunch of just equipment. It's not a set. So, like I said, I've been working extremely hard. And to kind of explain everything I've been doing, I've been trying to learn everything that goes into pre-production as well as production. Because if you don't know, I started this channel because I wanted to learn editing and I wanted to get myself to speak more. For how weird that sounds, for a lot of my life, was pretty silent. Okay, I should say a lot of it. So during COVID, I became extremely isolated. And other stuff happened that made me be homeschooled, and it became a giant endeavor that I personally want to wish on, you know, anyone. However, is that Rust? Yeah, that's Rust. I'm not dumb. You think you can get away from me, huh? You dirty little Rust. Yeah, you think a little Rust can stop big old daddy with his big old power wash? Yeah, I know that. Rust is nothing on me. Anyways, so I was alone, during a lot of COVID, I didn't talk to people, and a lot of it did come from just the pure isolation of me being isolated in my homes. And not to hate on the idea that we had to be quarantined. There's reasons why we had to be quarantined. I'm not going to a whole endeavor about how we shouldn't have. However, it did still suck. It still sucked that I, couldn't really talk to anyone. It really isolated me. For a while there, I kind of developed this is getting kind of personal, not super personal, but it's something that I like to be open about because I think people kind of forgot that not only did COVID happen, however, the real effects that truly came from it, being so isolated. And like I said, not hitting on that idea we had to get shot, or we had to get vaccines, or how we had to be quarantined. There's reasons. I have no problem with that. I'm just still saying it still sucks. Who knew being quarantined? Who knew humans actually like to talk to other humans? And I was someone that I thought was a really big introvert. COVID taught me that I was not that big of an introvert that I thought I was. But I made it. But the big problem I had during COVID was I just didn't talk to anyone. I spent all of my time playing video games. And it gave me a very toxic mindset of myself where growing up, I already kind of had a very, how do I put it? I already had developed a lot of anger issues in my past. I used to have a lot of anger issues, and especially towards video games, because I got very competitive and very passionate about video games. Because I got to a point in my life where I was legitimately considering trying to take gaming seriously and going like, professional, like playing in tournaments. I'm glad I didn't. If I got there, I'm pretty sure I would have been the most mediocre player of all fucking time. Not to say I still wasn't passionate about it or still wasn't good, but I don't think it would have made me happy at all. And that's kind of actually what made me stop it generally, is because I started to realize I don't like playing those games. I actually don't like playing competitive games as much anymore. It's so weird to say because I grew up playing stuff like CSGO and Call of Duty, but I remember 1v1ing people in Call of Duty, always taking that seriously. And when Valorant came out, I switched to Valorant because to me it felt better because I was able to use strategies a lot more than just CSGO. And not to say that it requires more skill. I prefer CSGO. I think CSGO is better, but I preferred Valorant. That's just how it is. People could get mad at me. I don't really care. But I did take, competitive gaming kind of seriously. But now I actually hate it. Not the concept of it. I always enjoy watching, tournaments and all. I will always, get excited about watching, like getting invested in a team and watching it. I will always get, that part of me will still always be there. However, I don't like how mad I was because during COVID, I got really mad. I had extreme anger issues. And not only that, I still didn't talk to people. So I was just constantly isolated, which didn't help my anger issues because it just made it feel like, gaming became more of my life and more of a requirement. So it really, really did not help that toxic perspective of video games where I always had to be good. If I wasn't good, then I did, hit aim labs enough. It's totally not, that is just like, need take time of myself, or maybe playing video games for 10-12 hours straight isn't good for you and you need those breaks. Totally wasn't that, but video games became a whole life, and I became extremely just isolated in general. I didn't talk to anyone, and you've talked to some, you guys have seen some of my friends here on this very channel, like Nick and Malachi and Cooper, and they've always kind of been there for me, at least since after the fourth grade is when I slowly started meeting them all, and they were there during those times, and they probably can testify how much I would play Valorant during those days and playing like all these competitive games. However, I remember there was a lot of moments where I would get really mad at video games. And it's something that I look back on and I still judge myself for, because I just realized I was talking about an entire short film. Now I'm spilling about life. Nah, that's just how things go. Anyways, I'll get back to it. I promise. I'm yapping right now. All right. I got a topic in mind and I gotta get through it. So, COVID became extremely hard for me, and the reason why COVID kept being so hard for me is because, not only was I isolated, but it felt like it wasn't by my own means. It wasn't something I could look back on like, oh, I just need to reach out to people. It felt like there was no one to reach out to. Obviously, I have my friends from Willard, but that even at some point became very, I don't know, distant, I guess. Not because of anything they did wrong or anything like that. I totally not saying they're terrible people and they should be canceled. But no, they're great friends. But it made me extremely lonely, and what ended up happening was when I went back to school, and I was a very extroverted kid up until COVID. So when I went back to school, it didn't change, right? I didn't suddenly become this charismatic kid again. I stayed very introverted. I stayed in this mindset that I didn't know how to talk to people, because I did know. I'm still scared to talk to a lot of people to this day. However, I feel like I've gotten a lot better at it compared to what I used to be. But I still got extremely, extremely worried at all times about talking to anyone. And it made me kind of develop a stutter. And it wasn't that bad until sometime my sophomore year, I got homeschooled, right? I started to get homeschooled up until my senior year. And that was probably the biggest detriment. Not saying, because my mom homeschooled me, not saying anything bad about my mom or say she did a bad job. She did just fine. That wasn't the issue. The issue was just generally that it still sucked for me socially. Because what ended up happening is I did later on, after getting homeschooled, meet a small group of people. But then after that happened, I stopped meeting new people completely. And between sophomore year and senior year, I had the same few friends and barely went out. For a while, I didn't have a job because I was still in high school. Not saying I encourage having a job during high school if you can. It's always good. It kind of prepare yourself not only financially but mentally. Prepare yourself if you have a job in high school. However, it sucks how hard high school is. That's another topic for another day. I'm really just cramming in a bunch of topics in here, aren't I? Really gotta organize this more. But I didn't really have a job, so I didn't talk to really anyone. And it made it extremely hard. It's extremely hard to make friends and understand how to talk to people again. And it got to the point of where I would just kind of shut down if I talked to anyone new. And that's a feeling I didn't think I would ever actually experience. I didn't want to say feel. I was trying to avoid not saying feel again. I need to expand my horizons of my English language, my dialect. But my I don't know. I developed a really big stutter. I think a stutter is the best way to put it. And it wasn't just the fact that I stuttered. It was the fact that I became very self-conscious about it. And anyone who has a stutter, at least maybe not everyone, but some people, anyone that has troubles just speaking in general, not because they're an introvert, but because of something physically incapabling them or being self-conscious about how they speak, it kind of made me develop this weird subconscious thought in my head. Oh, I think I played this before. I would hope. Why did I draw two dicks? I'm just censor it. Fucking censor. All right. It's censored. It's censored. It's censored. I am only family friendly. You little bitch. Only family friendly. I am going to sue Power Wash Simulator after this, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I developed a really bad stutter, and what that happened was it made me not really want to talk in general, So not only did I have a stutter, I tried to stay as silent as possible, and I got extremely lucky with my friend group. Right, I have a friend group now. From my senior year, it was a new school, and because of that friend group and because how they became friends with me, they pretty much saw me sitting alone and just took me under their wing and just ignored every weird or red flag I had because I was extremely weird. Not in the sense of my interests were weird. Really, it's just I was always quiet, and I could tell they found it really, really weird that I was always quiet. But I was just very self-conscious, I was very worried about how other people viewed me, and not only just as a person, but also just like how I spoke because I had a stutter. And it took me a really long time. I think it wasn't until I got to college is when I would say it really went away. And that's a long time. I went entire senior, like I went entire like whole year. Obviously I had stutter more, I had a stutter longer than that because of high school and all, or COVID. But the times of after being homeschooled, it took me over a year to kind of get out of that stutter. What really helped me to not only expand how I speak and how I want to speak or how I want to be portrayed, but also just how I, just want to be seen in general, I guess, is this YouTube channel. To finally get to the point I was trying to make earlier. This channel, the two big reasons why I made this is because of editing and to get better at speaking, because I don't think I speak very well. I think I'm a lot better at, not stuttering and also pulling words together to make sentences a lot better than I was. And I think I talked about this before on a different video, but if I haven't, I recently got diagnosed with ADHD, right? And not to go into, I do want to make a video about that one day, just talking about maybe my personal experience. I don't know. I don't really want to throw out there that like, here are the symptoms of ADHD and then have it, not actually be symptoms and everyone takes it that way. But to lightly talk about my experience and I don't know, maybe buy a bunch of, fidget toys or something. Gosh, I've been loving fidget toys lately. It's like my side hobby right now out of everything else. It's just looking at fidget toys. Because it's hard, anyways, I started to develop I found I had ADHD, and I started to realize that it also affected how I spoke, because it's not that I just kept talking without thinking. It was just generally that I guess, yeah, that's how you put it. I just had troubles putting words together and had troubles talking before thinking. And it just made it extremely hard on myself to, actually think and to actually, do what I want with my life, I guess. Oh, what the fuck? What? Oh, I don't know what that was, but all right. I just got sent space. Hi, Pluto. Anyways, I have been really, I don't know. I've made a lot of goals for my life, and not just for my life, but also for this channel. Especially, is this the water jet, people? I'm having a frightful time with the ordinary. Any chance you could give it a quick whiz? I don't like that you call it whiz. Who are all these people? I can't help notice that your ad says power wash. You do realize that it involves hot water. You should change the wording on your ad to pressure wash unless you're planning on upgrading soon. Yeah, well, fuck you, man. All right, I'm trying my fucking best. All right. How about I power wash your life? Power wash your kids. Don't want to mess with power wash Johnny. I've just been investing in this channel a lot, in the ways of trying to use it as an excuse to get better at talking. And there are parts of me that really do think it has worked, and I most definitely think I've gotten a lot better since the start and just being open. And now even just recording, I've gotten to a point where it's like, oh yeah, let me just record real quick, because it used to take so long. I used to be so nervous, and now I'm at a point where I'm like, it's whatever, which is really weird. It's so weird to think about how nervous I was to record before, and now I'm just very fine with it. But I think a lot of that also can do with me finally being diagnosed with ADHD, because for me at least, I used to get very self-conscious and anxious about a lot of stuff, to the point where like I would just sit there and not do anything at all. Literally do nothing. besides sit there and kind of just almost like paralyzed to actually start anything, even though it's like I want to do this, but I couldn't. But I've been using this channel a lot to get better at speaking, and I think what helped it a lot is just talking to friends, but also making videos by myself. If you like, I've been trying to do that a lot more recently, is making videos where it is just me, because I used to rely on my friends because it soon became a excuse to hang out. But later on I started to realize, okay, I got to be more comfortable with myself, so that's why I've been making more videos with myself. But I want to be honest about something. I'm very disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed. I don't want to be too disappointed because, like I said, I only recently got diagnosed with ADHD and only recently started to realize how much it has affected my life. Especially looking back on everything that's ever happened in my life, it really, gosh, to look back on a lot of my days of like, grade school and stuff, it explains so much. But I will say I'm still recording, right? Okay. Even with that knowledge, of, I have ADHD, I shouldn't hate myself so much about the setbacks I've been having or troubles starting projects and stuff. I still wish I at least tried a lot more with this channel. And obviously there's nothing I can do about it besides try more now. While I have the time and the space and the resources to do so. But I really have just been disappointed with the fact that I haven't been committing more to this channel, that I haven't been making more stuff more consistently. And I don't know. I'm not disappointed by how much I've been working on myself when it comes to editing. I have been learning a lot of editing stuff, and oh my gosh, did this channel completely change trajectory of what I want to do with my life, because it started to make me realize how much I actually love the process of editing. And I absolutely love it to this day. And it made me, it really challenged myself. Oh, that's cool. I really did challenge myself in not only what I wanted to do with my life, but what I think was capable for myself. It made me realize that because before YouTube, before video editing, I wanted to do illustration. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to draw. But now I've started to realize that I didn't actually really like that. I was just good at it. And since learning editing, and definitely this short film and learning other skills and getting into other stuff, I also started to realize I don't think my greatest skill is drawing or even editing. I think my greatest skill is just my creativity, because I'm able to pick up stuff like drawing or like I'm able to pick up stuff like drawing, editing, and more recently screenwriting, because I had to write a script for the short film, and I sat down and taught myself how to enjoy the process, which is weird. I used to hate writing. I practiced a lot before I made the script of trying to screenwrite and all, and I kind of tried to get in a certain headspace, and it got to a point where I actually really like the writing part of a script. I like developing that story and getting ideas and kind of just rummaging around what I want, instead of doing it through hours and hours of research through editing. I'm now able to do it with a more clear, concise idea while making a story. And it's still really nice, because that's all I want to do. I just want to make stories. I just want to make stories and deliver to the world, give messages that I think will relate to people and help people, and even if not any of that, just have a good time, But it's been a lot with this channel, and I'm wanting to commit more to this channel. Not exactly streaming per se. I stream. So the thing with me streaming is just I do it when I kind of feel like it. Just because there's a lot of editing stuff I love to do, so I get very worn out. Editing is not, a quick 1 hour thing. It's a lot. It's a lot of time and a lot of dedication. And however, I've gone to a point now where editing video games and stuff is not only faster for me, but almost therapeutic. It's now not really stressful. It's now just like, oh, let me just do this real quick. I have no stress behind making, the normal gaming videos I have on this channel, because it's now kind of at a point of where I actually kind of like this. Like I strangely like this editing process. I like editing anyways. However, it's still hard. I've gotten better at liking the process, but it's still extremely hard some days. Or at least my goal was always the final outcome. Having video game content be my final outcome goal is hard because, it's at some point it becomes repetitive and becomes kind of hard to look up upon, especially when you make bigger stuff. But now it's kind of just therapeutic. It's kind of like, I want to make, a gaming video just because I just want to take a break. It's weird to think now that making gaming content and editing it is now the break of my life instead of, more. I shouldn't say it was ever work, but it's the process of learning editing. It was kind of the working aspect of editing for me. Now it's not. Now it's just fun. I now just only find it therapeutic. The problem I have now is just that I'm busy. I want to make bigger stuff, and like the short film, I want to, make actually really, 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 really cool stuff. I don't know. I'm just really excited about where I'm going and where this channel is also going. And I hope to see a lot of you follow me as I make this stuff, because the thing about this channel, it's a big goal in my life, right? I have made an entire list of goals that I want to accomplish in the next 4 or 5 years, right? I actually already made a list, and if you don't know, there's an Instagram channel called the Project 1356 or 1356, whatever. And the entire project ended up being this guy's countdown, because no one knew what it was counting down to, but it revealed that it was actually a countdown for him of his life, saying, I have this much time. It was 1,356 days. I have this much time to accomplish these goals in my life. And I've already actually made that for myself. However, I did rewrite it for like that project, because I think it's just interesting to have that, kind of pressure of, or not pressure, but just setting. But it's stuff that I think I would be okay with not accomplishing. But besides the point, you should go check him out. He's made cool stuff. And I should say just more of just a really, really interesting project. And what personally to me really I want to do with my life when it comes to setting goals is just, I don't want to do stuff for money. That's always kind of been my goal. It's easier said than done, but I feel like I've always been able to easily have that mindset of, I prefer living life and working hard because of the creation of it, because of the art of it, rather than the money. Because to me, I think if I'm not caring about the projects or movies or videos or anything that I'm making, if I'm making a drawing, I'm only doing it to make money, then I think it's a waste of time, And not to say that to work for money is bad. It's totally okay to work for that, because your goals may just be, I want to support my family, and that's totally okay, and I admire that. And not to say you can't do both. Obviously, it would be nice to have money. It would open up more doors and more flexibility of what I can do and what I can accomplish with what kind of budgets. However, I think for me, money is just, I don't know, it's only a step to get it's only a means to get to the end, you know? It's only a step of the entire process. Because I don't know. I just don't find any like accomplishment from it. I've always found accomplishment in looking at the effort I put in at a project and loving the process of making art and bringing something meaningful to the world, or bringing something that I think is beautiful. And I really think that art is always going to be my number one priority when it comes to what I want to do with my life, because that's just what I find the most fulfilling. However, I'm aware, at least to myself, that I'm probably going to end up having a family, you know. There's going to be a time where I actually, you know, either have Dawkins Leonard calls dad, when you come around, I've got some filthy dirty for you. I don't want to touch your filthy dirty, man. If it's like your underwear again, I'm going to be very pissed. I hope you know that. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I understand that I will have a family. Like, at some point in my life, I would want a family. Again, I would want to at least be somewhat financially stable, because I don't want, you know, to raise kids at a home where I can't financially support them. I want to be able to be financially stable, but that's actually not what's the biggest thing hindering it. I also want to be able to make a lot of stuff before I ever have a family, because I don't know. If I have a kid, I would want to be able to give all my dedication to that kid, instead of having to work all the time while having a kid. And so I would want to accomplish a lot of my life goals and stuff before I have a kid. When it comes to, you know, art or just making stuff in general, because I think it would be fair. I guess is a good way to put it, just kind of fair to the kid. But anyways, oh gosh, dude, my nose has been actually killing me lately. Let me get to a normal nozzle, man. I know this is cheap. Everyone can hate on me, but I could not care less. I am a weak man who wants this done. I actually do find it very therapeutic, especially just talking, man. This is really, really nice to just do this and talk. It's actually such a good game to just talk. That I found Minecraft, if you play it the right way, any game like that is very, very therapeutic, especially if you're just building something and you're not looking at it. That's why I don't like looking at tutorials when it comes to making stuff on Minecraft, because I like the process of it, of making something. But my entire life goal is still going to be creating stuff, and that means that here on YouTube, yes, I want to be monetized, because I you know, that means I've reached out to enough people, and enough people actually like seeing what I want to do with and what I like to create. My biggest goal is always to just see how far I can make stuff, you know? And I don't want to take gaming videos seriously. I want it to be at a point of where, oh, I'm having fun. Whereas with video games, it's just, I don't want it to be at a point of where I have to do it because it's a job, right? Just because there's a lot bigger stuff I want to do. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I don't want gaming videos to be a job. I want it to be the thing that it's like, okay, let me take a break and make a gaming video, you know? Because I always love video games, and I don't want to loathe making gaming content, you know? So my goal with this channel is every week to make one edited video that are probably going to be short a lot of the time, because I'm still a college student, where a lot of those videos might be, you know, just like an 8-minute, 6-minute quick little thing that I found that's full, like, that's actually edited, that's, you know, funny and nice. And another video that's a lot longer, but it's just me playing games. That's a lot less edited because I just want to look back at this experience and just see how I had fun. And later on, I could probably make a video that actually collapses a lot of those videos down into more concise gameplay. And I'm still thinking about how I want to do those thumbnails because I think it would be nice to kind of like differentiate all of them to where it's like what's a fully edited gaming video and what's kind of, you know, cut around here and there, some edits, but generally blank. Because I think those videos are so nice to make, where it's just, you know, I just like talking, you know, I just like playing games, I just like doing all that, and I think recording it just makes me more excited about it now, where it gives me like, all right, what am I, you know, it gives me to think about more of what I'm saying, which is fun for me because I'm at a point of where I'm still wanting to, you know, learn how to speak and how to pronounce words better and stuff. So I get excited now, you know, talking about all that. And I still don't really, I have an entire list of games I've been meaning to play, and I'm really excited to get about all that. But just the reason why, going back to what I said before about me kind of being disappointed in myself when it comes to this channel, is because I wish I stayed dedicated to the content I made. Not, I shouldn't say the type of content, but the amount I have made. There was a lot of gaps in there that I know could have been filled, and I just wish I committed to that more. And looking back on it now, like obviously there's times where I got busy, but I just, a big thing that I've been struggling with lately, ever since I got diagnosed with ADHD. And when I got diagnosed, okay, so I had to stay there for a little while, and I had to like fill out all these papers and like all these like questionnaires and all. And there were a lot, and they asked a lot of questions. And they also gave me results for other stuff that some of it I still haven't looked at because I don't know if I really care to know. I probably should look at the results for other stuff, because ADHD can also link to stuff like depression, anxiety, bipolar, and it was just funny because to not to ever go into it because I'm fine now. I used to be really depressed, right? And a lot of it did happen during COVID and all. I'm fine now. I'm doing great. Life's doing great for me right now. And not just that, even if it wasn't, I feel like I would be safe enough to have a good mindset. And life's going great right now. But I screened positive for depression because a lot of those questions was like in the last, you know, like, oh no, some of it was like before you were 18. And then some of it was like in the last 4 years. I'm like, well, I'm 19. So like technically, yeah, the last 4 years, yeah, but that's not a big gap. That's not a big gap. Because I think it's under assumption that a lot older adults say like, oh, were you depressed since you were, you know, before you're 18, have you been depressed recently? I think it's supposed to say a pattern. And I haven't been depressed recently, but technically it was it was a few years ago, and it was before I was 18. So I had to explain to her like, it's been years since I've been great now. It's just, I'm young. So she had to make a little note, like technically screening positive, but we're 99.9% sure he's A-okay. So that's great. But when I got tested for ADHD, it was really random because a lot of it's obviously like, do you have problems focusing? Do you have problems focusing at your job? What do you do with your job? And what exactly of your job do you get distracted or have troubles at and stuff? Are you in school? Do you have troubles with school? What about it? You know, what's your normal routine? Stuff like that when it comes to like work ethic. And how the answers were, it was like from 1 to 5, right? Or it was either 1 to 5 for yes or no of how I felt, or like, do I have this, or how much does this apply to me? And my God, did all of them apply to me to the highest extent. It was like yes or no questions, like 30 of them, and 2 I said no. It was like, yes, I have problems paying attention in class. Yes, I have issues fidgeting. Yes, I have issues, fucking actually paying attention to big projects. Yes, I have issues starting big projects. Oh my gosh. So I was sitting there like laughing to myself in this lobby at urgent care, primary care, just answering all this. It was hilarious. But I have, because since I got diagnosed with ADHD, I'm just, and because that questionnaire and because how much I realized like, oh, this actually really does apply to me, I'm upset I didn't get tested sooner, to be honest, because it's not about, oh, I could have been medicated earlier. My biggest problem was that, and the reason why what kind of hindered me of getting tested for a long time is because I didn't want to use it as an excuse. Not saying anyone is, not to say anyone who's ever been diagnosed with anything and then says they can't do something because of it, or says, or not just that, but say like, oh, I have troubles doing this, is an excuse. It's a very totally valid reason. ADHD sucks ass, okay? Like, it's not just an excuse. It is a real thing. But I was scared that I would have that mindset for myself. And I don't. I think it's only healthy to kind of have that, because now I just wish that I got tested, because I would have at least known what is, because I used to really hate myself because I would have such drive to do a lot of things, but I had such issues starting stuff. And like I said, I'm a very creative person. I'm a very ambitious person. But like, at least my mom, my dad maybe probably doesn't see it as well because he hears me talk about a lot of stuff. He knows about this channel. My mom, she has really bad OCD, right? She says she doesn't, but I've never seen someone with more blanket obvious OCD. And not to hate on anyone that does, or the fact that it's bad, like she's a bad person that has it. It's totally fine. I just find it funny. But she has very, 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 very obvious OCD, and she has a very good work ethic in the sense of it's like, oh, I should probably do this. All right, let's do it right now. Like, that's how she works. She doesn't wait. She doesn't schedule. She's like, all right, let's do this now. And I was like, oh yeah, I have this on on my agenda. All right, let's do it right now. I'm like, what? I don't want to go to the store right now. Like I still have stuff planned. Now let's just do it right now while it's on the mind. I'm like, oh, okay. Fucking being dragged out the door. That's how it always has been growing up. But because of that, she's always been confused of why I've had issues doing stuff. And since being kind of diagnosed and also questioning it, I've started to kind of realize I do have drive. I do have ambitions. It's just, it really is just hard for me. Like in a way that I couldn't explain. And now that I got tested and actually able to function, it really is just kind of like, wow, there's more to me than I ever thought. I am not just a lazy piece of shit. I actually have care in the stuff I do, and I have a lot of stuff in my life that I really want to do, that I am passionate about, and I'm not just a lazy piece of shit. Because the thing is, like, at school, I was so passionate about school, and I wanted to do it. I always had issues just actually doing stuff. And my mom was always confused, thinking, that like, oh, do I just not care about school? It's like, no, I do. There was even a lot of projects and topics I liked. Art classes I even had a lot of issues with. And that's something I love to do. And it's because I've started to realize I have problems just like focusing and putting dedication and time into something. And gosh, has me being diagnosed with ADHD answers so many of my life questions of I'm not a lazy piece of shit. It is legitimately just hard for me. And I think I'm only been in the better because of it. But I'm just happy I got tested, so now I can just okay. So now I don't have to, keep just wondering constantly. But my mom never understood that. Now that I have been diagnosed, she says that she's looked back on a lot of stuff and started to realize, like, maybe this has been a problem. Maybe you aren't a lazy piece of shit. Not that she has called me a lazy piece of shit. She definitely has thought it. She has definitely, without a doubt, thought I was just lazy. It's like, no, I just, it really is just hard for me a lot of the time. But I don't know. I'm just happy I got tested, so now I can, deal with that part of my life and now kind of reflect and all. And now I'm able to do a lot more stuff with my life, including YouTube, stuff on YouTube. Like I said, I'm making a short film now, and the stuff I have been doing lately is, to me at least, incredible. Ooh, I didn't know we were playing fucking duck hunt mode. Interesting. Anyways, like I said, I really do love, making YouTube and all. It's just always been hard for me sometimes because of, ADHD, and now I don't really have a problem with it. And my goal for this year is to at least try, as much as possible, to make 2 videos a week, where one is kind of an unedited, just random slop, where it is just kind of me just playing games, but I'll try to cut out boring parts and all, some edits. But generally, it's just that, because it also gives me an excuse to kind of just take breaks. Because I am a go person a lot of the time, especially when I'm passionate about something. So when I get super passionate, super dedicated to something, I forget everything else. And I don't know, I've just been really tired. But like the short film, for example, I made some videos beforehand, before the short film, where I started working on it. Like, I have videos being scheduled right now for next week, and it's because I knew I was going to be busy. But I don't know. I'm excited that I'm doing something, And by the way, I have realized that I'm almost done with this. I haven't talked about the short at all. I was thinking that this entire video was going to be about the short film. It wasn't. It really wasn't. I'm probably going to be making another video after this one, actually going into the project, because I feel bad now. Because I have realized that I have wasted y'all's time, and now you get to hear me yap about my life's issues. But yeah, so I guess to go more into YouTube and all, we were talking about life goals. So my life goals, right? Saw the project 1356, and I want to do something like it now because I already had goals in my life. And I'm not going to tell you those exact goals because part of the rules is you're not actually allowed to talk about it. It's top secret. But my past goals has been to make my life about art and not money. That is something that I have tried to dedicate to for a large part of my life. And I'm still dedicated to, and something that I'm still, at least I believe that I'm still committing to. That I don't want to just do stuff for money. I like the passion, art behind it. Because, like I said, the short film, I have put, I put a lot of passion and a lot of care into the short film. I have. That's not the issue. Not saying there really is an issue. But my big issue is that because of putting so much time into everything. Oh, I remember. There's no issue. I'm putting a lot of time and care into the short film, right? I'm sure future self will love my rambling of me bouncing around topics and trying to piece it together. But train of thought is completely gone. Oh, Yeah. I've been wanting to make my life about art and creativity. Like the short film. I have no expectation that is going to blow up in any way, right? Because it's also kind of a dumb short. There's a lot of passion behind it, and I'll talk about it after this building's done. But I do a lot of passion about it, but it's not because I'm going to get paid for it. I know I'm probably not. The video might kind of do well. I'm hoping it does. At least the people that see it is given something good. But I don't know. I still want to not make it about money in any way. And something that actually got me really thinking about this. There's a podcast called the Editing Podcast. If you are an editor and you're interested, not exactly about certain effects, sometimes they go into that, but they're mostly talking about, practices, routines, motivations, where to start and stuff like that. Anyways, if you focus on stuff like that, I recommend the Editing Podcast. And think about that. There was an episode in there, and they were talking about motivations, right? And at some point, they were going into about how editors on YouTube struggle with making art and making a YouTube video. And sadly, there is a lot of a difference. I will argue, though, that YouTube isn't always exactly like that. I would think, the mass population and majority is. But YouTube, in my opinion, will always have large communities all about making passionate works or stuff like that. I like to see communities work around on YouTube. And I wish YouTube did more about directly on their site, making ways of more direct community engagement, especially with their live streams. But overall, the platform still has a lot of dedication. It still has a lot of care into it. And what I've been really wanting to do is make art. And at some point, they had an episode where they were talking about this very idea about, I'm having issues with just making art versus, YouTube. And so talking about how this guy was editing for Mr. Beast and how he likes it in a very certain way. There was a point where one of the hosts was talking about how he was editing this project and Mr. Beast didn't like it because he was editing for Mr. Beast. And because of this, he showed it to Jimmy, Mr. Beast, and he wasn't a fan of it. He said it was too artsy. Because it was the video about where he cured like a bunch of, I think it was like 1,000 people's blindness, right? And in that video, there's a scene in the intro where everything is blurred because the point of it is to be the perspective of a blind person. And Jimmy didn't like it. And not to say it was a bad decision or anything. It's just the fact that like it looks very bland, or not just bland, but not engaging, really. And he wasn't wrong, because what he was really, I think, should be trying to say was it was too artsy. Oh my gosh, there's all of this I did not clean. I am a lazy piece of shit. And there's a direct quote from that podcast. I think it was also extrapolated it from someone else. So if you go to that take my instance, find that episode in that podcast, listen to that podcast, listen to who he was talking about, and then go to that video and find exactly what I'm talking about. That person may have heard it from someone else as well. There's no such thing as original thoughts anymore, is there? But I can't remember the exact quote, but the idea is, how much are your creativity are you willing to give up for the sakes of views? And in my personal case, I took that statement very personally, because I think YouTube is a place where you can be your own boss and you can make your own stuff. And not to hate on anyone that does YouTube just for money. Schlatt is one of the biggest examples. If you don't know, recently, Schlatt quit. He quit YouTube completely. I'm sure he might do something later on in life, or later on. But for now, he left because he's been very open about how he wants to do this for the money. And now he has that money. It's not that he wasn't thankful. He's obviously still thankful about everyone's care and dedication into the stuff he has made. But, oh, is that Rust? Oh, that's Rust, you piece of shit. I was wondering about you. You sneaky little shits think you can get by me. Oh ho, I don't think so. I knew there was a problem with it. There was a dirty little secret, and it wasn't just a little smudge. It was Rust! Anyways. And the reason why I took it so personally is because for me, I do not give a flying fuck about the views. And I don't want to. And it's easy for me to say because right now I don't have many views. And I still have a lot of care into what people say. And it does still mean a lot. I don't like to, care too much about what people always say about me just because they don't, they don't know the full story. They don't know me. They don't know how much effort I put in a lot of this stuff. But it also helps when you don't want negative people to go out of your way to say bad stuff about you, or like let negativity affect you really. Okay, this thing has not shined, so it makes me think drill tower first floor and ground floor. Okay, but I take very I don't know how to exactly put it besides because it wasn't offensive at all in any shape or form. It was, but wasn't that it was just offensive? It was just, oh, there it is. All right, so there it is. All right, garage doors. Anyways, so like I said, I've really been wanting to keep making content for the sakes of the actual content I'm making and for the love of the craft. And I feel like, at least to me, that I have been doing a very good job at keeping to my word about that. And that is something I'm very proud of myself for, and something that I want to keep committing to, I should say. Just because it's, how do I put it? It's very nice to know that I'm not letting money be my motivation, because I knowing myself at the very least, I know that it means little to nothing to me. I don't care for it. Money will always be a step in life, And not to say, like I said, there's no hate to anyone that actually, cares a lot about money, especially if, you have a family, because, that you're doing nothing but supporting your family. Okay, that's not office wall. Where's office wall? That's drill tower. Anyways, I'll find this in here in just a second. But, is that a gnome? Oh, you little shit. You fucking gnome, man? Fuck you, man. Get gnomed. How do you like that, huh? You like being gnomed? The old creep? You like watching me clean stuff? Creep? Pervert? Are you a pervert? You fucking pervert? This is really divulged into a completely different thing that I wanted it to be about. Office wall. Okay, it's one of these office walls. And I'm just glad I've always had that motivation. And I am going to try my best, at least, to continue having that mindset. Because I think it does nothing but help my overall goal in life. And I'm just extremely excited that I'm able to have this kind of motivation in my life. To have that motivation outside of money, I think, I don't want to say is rare, because I don't think it is, but it's something I at least don't hear a lot about, and I wish I did, because I feel like people should love what they do. And not saying it's easy, right? I have a job. The job I make money, I don't love. I don't hate it either. I really don't mind the job I have now. I'm very appreciative to still have the job I have because I don't hate it. But, okay. There's only so many office walls. How many office walls are there, man? Am I being scammed right? Am I being scammed? Am I being scammed by office walls? Is this an office wall? Is this an office wall insurance scam? Is it? Even when I press tab, it doesn't flash. So it makes me think it's not this. But it's like, what else could it? Okay, sorry. I'm having people over later, so I was trying to get all that scheduled. But I think throughout, I don't know. I've just always had that mindset. And I think most of it derives from a teacher I had. He was a woodworking teacher, and he was the best teacher I think that I've had, and I think we'll ever have. Because it wasn't that he was just a teacher to me. He was almost a mentor to a certain degree. Because he is the entire reason why I've been so motivated to do art. And to see it as something more than, you know, a dream. You know, a pipe dream, is because to explain this man and how much he has helped me, or at least like how much he actually cared. There was a time where I took my portfolio to class because he also kind of liked art. Oh no, he really did like art, but it was always like just a hobby for him because he was a woodworking teacher, and he saw me like he saw some of it, I think on like Instagram or something. He told me, oh, you should bring your portfolio in. And when I showed it to him, he absolutely loved it. He was nonstop kept talking about, oh my gosh, it's so good. And I was like, oh, you know, thank you. He's like, can I borrow this real quick? I'm like, what are you gonna do with it? He was like, oh, I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm not gonna do anything with it. Don't worry. Or like anything about it. Don't worry. I was like, you know what? Sure, I trust you. And I could think I trusted him because he walks around the class showing everyone to be like, this right here, next Pablo Picasso, next Da Vinci, right there. All right, and that's a good compliment because you know what also is a good Da Vinci Resolve. But no, it's so nice to hear that, you know. How he would walk around the class and just constantly just show anyone and everyone my art. You know, just saying like, oh, this is so good, this is so cool. And I'll see if I can pull some up that I had at the time. They weren't amazing, but the fact he motivated me in the first place. And he did a lot of stuff. He convinced the school, or he convinced the teacher in charge of the yearbook to let me do the yearbook cover. And that's when they already had everything set, but he convinced them, and he convinced the school to break their own rules and change the schedule around so I would be able to take his class again. Because the schedule's already set, but he said, screw that, I want this kid in my class. Because he also really likes my brother. I think it was one of my brother's also favorite teachers ever. And the thing that was so great about him, it wasn't that I was just like a favorite. I know he like instinct kind of likes me because of my brother, but he also generally just was nice to everyone. Even the kids that were struggling, he was very good at understanding kids that had hard times focusing or had hard times caring, because he would find a way, at least a line, to communicate with them instead of be like, no, this is the project you have to do, let's do it. It's more of, if they don't feel motivated, he will get them to talk about something they like, and he will find a way to get them talking about it while they're actually working on something they're supposed to, which is just so interesting. It would be so interesting because I would see kids that like hated school, fucking hated it, actually doing their work because he would like kind of trick them into working while talking about something they actually care about, and constantly like encouraging the stuff people are passionate about. I think that's a teacher people should aspire to be, because it's harder when you're in college because you're directly in charge of, teaching this subject, and especially in like more advanced classes, you are preparing these kids to actually go into this career. But I think in high school, it should be more encouraged to, encourage kids and be more open about a lot of other stuff of their life and other stuff they're passionate about. Not, if you're a science teacher, it's okay to, talk to kids and encourage them to do, other stuff just outside of being a, going to a science major. Because for how cool that is, these are still kids learning who they are as a person. And there's nothing's definite. Anyways, let's look at the time lapse. Oh, that's nice. I promise I will talk about the short and that whole project and that whole endeavor. I will talk about it, but I got so immersed halfway through, like, I promise. That, or unless I've already talked about it, you've already heard me rant. So this is a new rant, not about the short. But if I did put the short on, this is a promise saying that I will talk about it. But if I already talked about it, you're welcome. But not saying welcome. That'll be all. Bye.